What's going on, Bobo? How you doing? How was your weekend? I hope you're feeling great. Let me know if there are sound issues. We had sound issues yesterday for our inaugural astrology video. It was kind of a disaster, but I feel like we pulled it out in the end. Our Cala Raccoon is here. You know what I mean?
It's just growing pains.
Hello, Angela.
That's all. You know? Sometimes you gotta have your growing pains in front of everybody. Just imagine, if you were like a member of the Mickey Mouse Club on Disney.
Yeah.
And you gotta just like go through puberty on TV.
Melissa's here. No two trolls. This is awesome. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm cool with it. I don't mind. This is not the first time I've ever fucked something up. I do all the time. I'm all good with it. But I got to tell you that I was bummed about the whole like technical aspects that kind of like really kind of threw me to begin with. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean, because that's why I let you take care of all of that stuff, because it throws me every single time.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for it. I didn't see it coming. I was a little bummed that it's like, yeah. So anyway, there it is. Delicate just arrived.
Wonderful.
Hanada is here. The great Robert Duvall, and I say the great Robert Duvall lightly.
Oh,
I'm not to be. He's not. He was 95. He passed away at 95 years old. So,
which I think makes anybody great.
That's a crazy long life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a long headache.
A headache.
So not his, maybe not his. So yeah, he passed away, as you know.
Uh-huh.
And
what's weird is that happened today, and just yesterday I looked for some reason. We didn't all used to live in an age where if you just a thought popped into your head, you could just go look it up and like learn the answer.
It's so wild.
It is. I'm still not really used to it even after like 30 years. But
yeah.
Just yesterday I was like, who are the oldest celebrities? Like, they're still around. Like, there's some really, really old celebrities because a lot
Clint
of these people are rich and they
Eastwood.
can afford to live to old age,
Yeah.
And there are like 104-year-old actors. Like one of the actors that was on the Waterfront is still with us. And then like I forgot, like Mel Brooks is 99 years old.
It's like that's a YouTube channel right there, just trying to interview these people. Absolutely nobody would watch it though, because it'd be like, we have an absolute legend, and then you cut to them and they're just like,
they're doing that weird old thing with their mouth.
I've been practicing, and I'm headed there. Hopefully that's the end game, bro. They're like the masters. I kid the elderly. I'm going to become elderly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm becoming elderly.
If we're lucky.
Right before your eyes. Look at this. This beard was not this color originally. These eyes, they were bluer and wider.
You're going to get some work done?
Smiled a lot more.
You're going to do a little nip?
Yeah. Oh,
nip
yeah.
here, a little tuck there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Get a cucumber routine going.
Uh-huh.
I'm late, but I'm ready.
It's gonna like stretch your eyes like what do they do? They
Yeah,
pull at your temples.
Yeah, they just like pull it up, and then you just like.
So then all of a sudden you just like.
All you do is you blink like this. You're like.
Then you look like Siegfried and Roy all of a sudden with like your eyebrows all the way up on your
assistant
temples.
Who just blows water, like sprays your eyes with water. Oh, he'll be fine.
He can't blink anymore.
Like,
the nerves have been deadened.
Oh, look, I ruined my hat.
Oh, I just got notification. Excuse me, Jesus.
We're still getting notifications. This is the second day in a row that Angela's blasing all over the
so the thing is
live.
that usually by the time my clients can get to me after work is when I'm doing this live. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have to step out in like 20 minutes.
And will be leaving for a moment in 20. That's cool. You got to do what you got to do.
Apologies.
So Robert Duvall is dead, and I'm and my feelings about Robert Duvall are mixed. The actor, not the man. I don't know the man. He lived in 95, so he had that going for him. But I don't know. He might have been a good guy, might have been a dick. I have no idea. I certainly, yeah, But the actor, I thought he was all right. Like I didn't think he was, like when you remember The Apostle? Do you remember that movie?
I don't.
So it's like, like sort of the end of I think it was like around the end of the whole like 90s indie renaissance.
Yes.
You remember like that would have been like, right around Pollock,
Yeah.
right?
It was
like everybody was doing these
also
movies.
like I remember that like Val Kilmer was in The Salton Sea and it was really good, but like nobody gave a shit. Like there's a lot of movies like that where like they were good, but nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about them anymore. Like The Apostle.
So,
So did he star in that one?
he was the star. Yeah. I think
He was the
did
Apostle.
he direct it? Did he write and direct it? Now I got to check. But and it was good. Like it was good. And the performance was good. Like it was just, everybody was crazy about it. The Apostle, 1997. Yeah. See it, like I said, right at the end. Yeah. He was good. I mean, it was good. It was good. It was so revered. Like people loved it. And at the time I was like, okay. Because it was like that kind of movie where it was good. It didn't have like the kind of thing that like Sling Blade had.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you saw Sling Blade for the first time, especially like, if you were there when it was released, there was like, then, these like little pet vanity projects, that was like, wow, that's a thing,
I'm kind of sad every time we talk about older movies, even from just 20 years ago, because they just do not fucking make movies like that anymore. They just stopped.
Yeah.
Like they'd never make Sling Blade now. Not that it's some like huge, it would be some huge loss or anything, because, whatever, who cares? But, like there's a lot of movies. I really like the story about.
Yeah, he wrote, directed,
John,
and starred.
Yeah, okay. I like the story of being John Malkovich.
Yeah.
Where they were, the filmmakers were so astonished that they got away with making a studio film that was that weird. And it was literally only possible because the studio was changing, like they were being
merged, whatever.
Merged, yeah, one of these or whatever, I don't know. And that the executives were so busy with all of that mess that they literally forgot that Being John Malkovich was being made.
Yeah.
So the filmmakers kept going, and they were just like none of the studio execs were showing up on the, to like harass them about like, what is this? Let's look at the script, like, do the normal studio messing things up thing. And they said that the only reason why it exists is because they left it alone. I think that's wonderful.
Yes.
But yeah, they really don't make them like that anymore. I know that's like a cliche saying, but they don't.
They don't.
They
And
make
so
them like they used to, I guess. Is what
so Robert Duvall's, so I thought he was a very good actor. I just didn't think he was like, he was just such a legend. Obviously he's in The Godfathers and he was very good in them. Excellent. Very good to excellent. Yeah. But like I wasn't like, I've never sat in awe of Robert Duvall's work. I've just always thought it was quite great or good.
So you're saying he died today and you're like, nothing was lost?
Well, he was 95, so I don't feel terribly sad, Like I just don't feel terribly sad. The truth is I forgot he was alive.
Yeah,
like his death was a sudden reminder that just before it, he was living.
I think I was confusing his death with James Caan's death.
Yeah, that's easy to do.
Not that I can't tell them apart because like obviously I saw Godfather, but I just assumed.
And Misery.
Yeah, no, they weren't both in there.
Right, James Caan was in Misery.
Yes, but I'm saying they both were in Godfather.
Oh, right, they were. That's
so
true.
I just for some reason
I forgot about James.
They like
James
I know
Caan and Godfather.
they occupy the same a single neuron in my mind is like on both of them. Yeah.
Very close types, like definitely competing for roles in Hollywood or wherever.
These white guys, they all look the same.
You darn right they do. Hey, you better slow that down. Whatever that is you're doing. Get us in trouble. Talking that kind of shit. How was your weekend? Do you want to tell everyone how your weekend was?
My weekend was kind of hectic. I didn't really. I wanted to just like lay around and read all weekend, but I didn't get to do any of that.
Didn't get to do that, no.
No, I think people are like traveling or something, and so that makes me. I do a lot of pet care, and so that makes me busy. But it's interesting because Hinata's with us and said, "Oh my God, there's some astrological event happening. I've been on a funk since yesterday, very out of nowhere. Today, I said I'll be going crazy because there is no reason."
Yeah, well, yeah, we're heading into an eclipse right now, an epic eclipse.
Okay, first of all, this is the first eclipse in Aquarius in 24, 26 years. Very
Yeah.
long time. So brand new energy we haven't had in a very long.
Generational, yeah.
Yes. Another thing is that the eclipse is making an exact square to Uranus.
Yep.
Square is like a 90-degree angle between the placements, and what that does is it provides the way that those two placements are having a conversation by their angle to each other. The way that they're communicating is very harsh,
It's the nature
very
of
incendiary. It's like fighting. And so an eclipse is very incendiary energy anyway.
Mars. Yeah.
Basically like flipping the table over type energy, like out of nowhere, like things, sudden endings, new beginnings, like out of nowhere. And it's making a square aspect to Uranus, which is known as the revolutionary, rebellious, breakthrough type surprises, all those things. So,
Disruptions and breakthroughs and,
and the eclipse is also co-present with Pluto and Mars right now. So it's expect the unexpected is basically the nicest way to say what this week is going to feel like.
Probably about to go through the roughest patch in like current astrology.
There's the astrologers are saying of the year, this week
yeah.
is the gnarliest.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, it certainly is. I mean, the eclipse is absolutely nuts. And that's only that's only part of the story. It's a big part of the story though, because this eclipse is, like you said, it's once in 20 some odd years, and this one has some wild company in it.
It's going to open a series. We're going to have more Aquarius eclipses. Yeah. There's always like 4 that happen in the span of like 2 or 3 years. I don't really.
Yeah, it marks a period. It
hasn't happened in 20 years, over 20 years.
Yeah, so a lot of astrologers suggest journaling through the beginning, because this is the first in Aquarius of what will be. Yeah, probably 4. I have to go like grab an ephemeris to look, but probably it will be 4, something in that number. And a lot of people will journal their experience, particularly if they're getting strong vibes early. But the wildest thing about these kinds of eclipses is that they're, because it's beginning, it doesn't necessarily manifest as something large, something wildly apparent.
It usually takes about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
At the end of like 4 or 6 weeks, you look back and you're like, oh, that's what the eclipse was about. Yeah. Very obviously, at this point, we can see what was put into motion that has now completely changed.
How useful is it then? You know what I mean?
How useful is it?
Yeah, because we know that the eclipse is coming and it's tough. Like I know the one usefulness I get out of it immediately, and that I got out of my chart, because I've had such a rough ride with friendships, as you know. And it's not just Don's Plum. It's just over and over again, and I don't understand it. And I'm a good loyal friend in that Capricornian way. And anyway, oh God, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
What good is it then? Is it what you're starting?
Yeah. So I understand. So I'm sorry. So for me personally, I benefited by seeing Saturn in 7th house. Like when I saw Saturn in the 7th house, which is a disruptor, which is like an obstacle, which can lead to conflict or tension. When I saw that in the 7th house, it gave me some relief. It literally gave me relief. And this is the coolest thing about astrology, in my opinion, is that you can look at your chart and you can see things, especially if you've had a tough go at a lot of different things. You might find in your chart a very obvious. Like I also have a Pluto opposite Mars. Mars in my 5th, which is my house of creativity, my artistry, where I write, where I work as a filmmaker.
This is the
producer.
thing that's so valuable is so Chani Nicholas wrote a book for beginners of astrology that I definitely recommend. I wish it was organized better, but it's really, really super useful, very clear. And the subheading it's called "You Were Born for This."
The book is called "You Were Born for This." Yeah.
And then the subheading is "Astrology for Radical Self-Acceptance." And this is what hooked me into astrology, because when you start to understand the placements in your chart and you start to recognize that the things that you experienced in childhood or as you grew up or just some sort of like social dynamics or something, that you actually were born that way, that this is something that had to play out in your chart, And understanding it and having a label for it and naming it makes it so much, it demystifies it in a way that kind of makes it so much easier to reconcile with. Like there's a lot of difficult placements in my chart that explain exactly what my experience was. And I thought shit was just weird.
Yeah, that's what I love about
I thought
it.
that I was just being like a victim of someone else's weirdness or whatever. But what I realize now after learning astrology for several years is that these are dynamics that I'm being challenged to confront so that I can learn more about myself through those confrontations. And that this is the way that I can grow above and beyond all of these things that could possibly happen to me. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
it's not like it's a more pragmatic way of saying everything happens for a reason. But it also makes space for the terrible things, the suffering things, the losses, those really horrible things that can't be reconciled. There isn't like a God that's putting you through it. It is just simply it's a circumstances that are put in your path that you're destined to confront, and they are difficult and they are painful, and it is kind of the point. And I just found that to be really...
It's like very Buddhist of you.
Yeah, it's also like really Eli Wiesel. He was the guy who wrote... Man's Search for Meaning. No, that's just not. Is that his name?
I don't know.
Man's Search for Frankel. Is that his name? God,
I
can't
don't
remember.
know.
I can't remember these guys. Will you look it up?
I am right now.
He wrote Man's Search for Meaning, and it was literally about his experience being
Frankel? Viktor Frankl?
Viktor Frankl. What did I say? Eli Wiesel?
I don't know, but move on.
Whatever. I don't even know who that is right now. His whole thing was about his experience. It's very much a memoir about his experience going through the Holocaust concentration camps. And so that's very much on the same path of like the pain is the path. The suffering is the journey. You have to make meaning out of these things. And this is the purpose of life.
I have failed.
You can make meaning out of all of the things that you suffered through. Like even if the situation is like, oh, I was really betrayed by somebody that was really close to me. Maybe the lesson is that you should be more discerning about who you allow into your orbit and give energy to and pull close to you. Maybe the lesson is how to sever ties with past bonds and move on with a new beginning, and the knowledge that you're never going to put up with that shit ever again because now you know what not to put up with. Like there's all these things where you're just like, there is a lesson in everything. It doesn't make what happened to you any better, you know?
No.
You still suffered immense pain, and that fucking sucked, and the people that did it to you are still to blame. But there is a way to move forward where you can be like, okay, what did I learn? How do I pick myself up? You know, how do you keep going? And having become smarter as a result. I mean, I know I'm not saying anything groundbreaking because everybody in every self-help book ever says this. But this is what my pathway to understanding these things for myself was the astrology chart.
And what they don't say is they don't say, hey, yeah, this makes sense. You have this configuration in your chart that lays the groundwork or creates the energy around, that particular problem. And
yeah, like you'll be confronted with this specific theme of problem.
Throughout life,
you'll constantly be stepping on that rake because you're meant to learn how to avoid stepping on the rake or how to step on the rake more gracefully, you know?
How to take it.
How to take it, right.
Well, anyway, that's all for next Sunday in our astrology sessions. I'm excited because once we're comfortable and we just get to jam and be astrologers, it's just going to be a really good time, and we're going to learn a lot.
I feel really positive.
We're going to do some chart examinations, but we're also going to rip into the textbooks. And one of the things that we do when we're sitting around and studying astrology, just in our conversations at home, is we'll just be chatting or whatever, and then we'll bring up something, and maybe it'll be like, secondary progressions or whatever it might be. And we'll be like, fuck, I don't know if I know enough about that. And so we have a library of books on our shelves,
yeah, right.
And of course the internet. And so we just dive into both of those resources and end up having deep, long discussions and chart comparisons and whatever else. Mm-hmm. And we end up coming out of that with some knowledge or some deeper knowledge of something that we knew, maybe a little more superficially than we needed to.
I have to step out.
Off you go.
But on this, I just want to say that I'm excited because this next weekend I'm coming a lot more prepared with a plan. This last time we just tried to wing it, and I don't know how good that worked. So we're going to try it another way. It's going to work out great. I'll be right back. You good?
I am good. Thank you for asking, Angela.
You are good.
Yeah. it was otherwise quite successful in my opinion because I haven't looked at the tape yet, and we did delete it from the channel because I don't want to confuse the channels. But we had some good chats nonetheless. So I'm excited to see how it grows and how we grow together. Very much so. Anyway, I don't know if any of you guys have any thoughts about Robert Duvall, but sad to see him gone on the one hand, and then on the other hand, I'm like, I'm not diminishing in any way his passing. He's 95 years old. He had a great life. He had a long life or whatever. But he was just one of those guys who I always felt throughout my life that thought he was good. Isn't that weird? Am I being weird? Maybe I'm being a little bit weird. Let's go see what's happening over here. While we're waiting, have you guys seen all this stuff about Vanderbeek? So, of course, he passed, and his death left everyone with a big old heart, and people started contributing to there was I don't know who put it up. I think it was his wife or family or whatever, but they put up a GoFundMe where over $2 million was raised. Steven Spielberg was outed as giving $25,000, which I'm not going to lie, I thought was really cheap. He's worth $7 billion, $7 billion. And he gave 25 grand. It's kind of like flipping nickels at people. It's a little weird. But that's just me. And I just think I don't know how much money you have to have to be truly generous. He has 4 kids or whatever, and he gave him 25 grand. You know what I mean? With 4 kids or 5 kids, whatever that number is, it's a big number. A lot of kids. Hey, Gunner, give me a second. Gunner, stop it. Sorry, we got dogs. All right, so anyway, so there's a bit of a controversy because they were renting this house that they were living in, and then about a month before he died, they end up buying it, and they ended up buying it, and I just threw a cord at them. They ended up buying it for $5 million, almost $5 million. This was a month ago. Then of course he passed the other day, and then they did a GoFundMe where they raised whatever it is, well over $2 million. And the result, of course, is, this dog is driving me crazy. Oh, we're just going to have a crying dog. And the result is all this controversy around it now. Everyone's like, oh, James Vanderbeek, what are you doing? I guess some people who maybe don't have $5 million mansions, but who gave them money, feel like maybe they got whatever, bamboozled or whatever. But I think it's a little ridiculous, personally. I think, who cares? Do you know what I mean? It's still a bad situation. Yeah, they bought the home they were living in because they moved into this house and they wanted to I guess they moved into it years ago, not that long ago, but maybe it was I don't even frickin' know. But they moved into this house. They got 4 kids. It's a $4 million house or $5 million house. I forget where it is exactly, but it's in a place where it costs money. Do you know what I mean? And whatever. I mean, whatever. It's, they apparently had tax troubles. It just sucks. All the shit's out about this guy. He dies. And because they do a GoFundMe, suddenly all of his finances are under scrutiny. And I understand that, but it's a weird thing to do, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys think about it. What do you guys think about it? But to me, it's just what the fuck? I mean, there's still a wife with 4 kids there. You think that because he had a $5 million house, or he was renting a $5 million house, that they should go move into a 2-bedroom apartment and put all the kids in one room. That's a fucking tough spot. Especially with an untimely death, like the one that they experienced in their family. So I just think it's a bad reaction. I don't know what you guys think. I wish Angela were here so she could either argue or agree with me at this point. But yeah, and now it's now that the TMZ headline is that he had massive tax debt, which he did. He had to come up with or they had to come up with more than $270,000, $270,000 to cover I guess, misfilings or whatever. So they were still making money, and they're still gonna make money. They're not broke by any means. Certainly to some other people's standards, they're going to be very well off, but they're still in a bad spot. And I wonder how much of that $2+ million is just Hollywood money anyway. Steven Spielberg threw in $25,000, and I'm guessing he was like one of the cheaper guys. I don't know. I'm being a dick, but I don't understand that. All right, what do you got? Yes, I think they should move into a smaller place. Well, I mean, or they could crowdfund and pay that one off and stay in it. You know what I mean? Like I just don't know why it's a big deal. Like, who cares? Like, it's just like, do you think it's like something they should disclose? You think they should like say, hey, we're doing a fundraiser, just so you know, we live in a $5 million place. Like, it's not hard to live in a $5 million place these days. It's just not hard, Justin Baldoni's house, which he has up for sale for almost $9 million in Ojai, went up almost 700% since he bought it. You know what I mean? 700% since he bought it. He paid under $3 million, I think it was, and he's asking almost $9 million. So yeah, he's like gonna almost 5x, as they say in the trading world. He's gonna 5x that money. You know what I mean? It is what it is, dude. $5 million, a $5 million place. That's not hard to come by. That's not hard to come by these days. Erica is here. Hello, Erica. Hello, Cosmic Urgency. No two trolls. I already said hello to you, didn't I? Kindly DiCaprio. What's going on? I hope you're feeling good. What are you saying? He's so pretty. Yeah, he is, man. He was a good-looking guy. He was a very good-looking guy. Obviously, And he had charisma. He had all the stuff, to be a good TV star. He was a good TV star. He's going to be well missed, and but it seems he was well loved. And I just think I think people are overreacting. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm just thinking about like political contributions right now. People writing checks to politics, and it's just cracking me up a little bit that they're like, the big worry right now is, over whether or not the Vanderbeeks should have moved out, and they might still have to move out. Who knows? It's impossible to know. I got a dog. Might as well call him Lonesome at this point. Kind of. Sorry, guys. One of them strange beginnings. We're going to get to reading very shortly the Sarowitz, the rest of Sarowitz. We got a request to do Jamie Heath. I want to get it read. Angela's going through it. It looks like a nightmare. So, I don't know. I mean, she's the one who's got to read it, so she gets to make the call. But hopefully she'll read it. If she doesn't, I understand. Maybe it is a nightmare. But we'll check it out. It's a ranch. It's likely turning into a small family economy, says Hanada. Well, that would be perfect if they could find a way to make money out of it. In 2025, he was selling his memorabilia to help foot the bills. Yes, I remember him selling the memorabilia. He got like $50,000 if I read the headline, if I remember the headline correctly. But it is what it is. Like I'm saying, you put it out there. You go, hey man, we're doing a fucking fundraiser, and people in Hollywood certainly knew who he was and what he was doing. Steven Spielberg, I don't think is gonna sweat his 25 G's because they're living on some fucking $5 million ranch. So I don't know, man. Just to me, I think like, whatever. What's interesting is that they were able to raise $2 million, but people were like, all over online. They're like, fucking celebrity worship. I'll bet like a ton of that came from celebrities themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like he was beloved in the community. He was a part of the television community for many, many, many fucking years. We already know that Steven Spielberg threw in $25,000, and like I said, he was probably on the lower end of it for some, at least compared to some others, or maybe not. It doesn't even matter. Who cares about amounts? The bottom line is that a whole bunch of people. You think fucking, people like Selena Gomez. Is that who he was in the show with? Who was in that show? No, Katie Holmes, right? Like people like that. They dropped money on him. I'm sure they did. You think? Yeah, maybe I have another story. Hang on. I thought Angela was about to come in. I didn't want to start another story. Cosmic urgency. Hang on a second. I honestly was not prepared for any of this. All right. I've just been sitting here winging it. Cosmic urgency has lost his patience. He's about to quit the show. I've lost, I've lost.
It's a mutiny?
Yeah. We had like 170 people here, and now there's like 20. They're all leaving.
You had 170 people?
Yeah, nobody wants to hear me just talking to the fuck.
Stop crying.
Cosmic urgency is like, I went off about, how, they should just.
What did you go off about?
That they should just leave the Vanderbeeks alone, about the Vanderbeeks.
About the Vanderbeek estate?
Yeah, but he's all fucking up in arms over the fact that they had a GoFundMe. And I'm like, why? They got a family of whatever and they don't want to move out. Yeah, if they have to, they will, but maybe they could throw up a GoFundMe and have a bunch of rich people that they know kick in for it, and they'll end up either buying or nearly buying that ranch. And, and Hanada pointed out that it could turn into a family business. See, we're not done, Cosmic Urgency.
Are you just repeating things that I missed, but that everybody else already heard?
Yeah, I'm just tuning you in, bro.
Yeah, thanks. We missed you, Cosmic Urgency.
Who's Chad Michael Murray?
Chad Michael Murray.
Katie Holm, Joshua Jackson. See, all those guys threw in some money. They're like, hey, here's a couple $100,000, whatever. What's that?
Yeah. I was wondering who Chad Michael Murray is.
I imagine it comes from
you're an
the
important person when you got the 3 names. Unless the middle name is Wayne, and then you're a serial killer.
What if you have 4 like me? Dale, Norman, Irwin, Wheatley.
If you went by that, you'd be a very important person.
Me, if I went by Dale, Norman, Irwin,
Yeah.
Wheatley, that sounds like the court jester. That definitely sounds like the guy, the fucking peasant.
I have a friend whose middle name is Wayne, and he's always been very uncomfortable with that because all of the serial killers have a middle name Wayne.
Oh, yeah, John Wayne Gacy, etc.
Yeah. There's a few of them that just happen to have the middle name Wayne.
It is kind of a weird middle name now that you say that, actually.
Oh, am I not Tubble? Am I just a voice off the screen?
Oh, yeah, here you come. There she is.
With the push of a button.
It's all my fault, yeah. All right, here we are. Angela's back.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got somebody says at 92083, hello, by the way. I wonder if that's Tanner. He said he also got residuals from Seinfeld money and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's going to, they have money coming in for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That money is not, that's all LLC money. And right on, man. I'm glad for him, man. I'm glad for his family. I hope they're fucking set up. This is a fucking shitty time to live, man. I hope they don't lose that house. I hope they keep it for the rest of their lives. I hope those kids inherit that house. Like, yeah, man, this is awesome. I'm glad that people rallied around it and tried to make sure that they had a house. That's fucking awesome. Kids have a home. Fuck yeah, that's great. Let's do that. You know what I mean?
I also just feel like if it's your life's aspiration to have a brood of children and have like acreage that they all grow up on, but then you find out that you're suddenly terminally ill, you're going to fast track those dreams.
You're going to try to make that happen. You're going to fucking Breaking Bad that motherfucker as fast as you can.
Yeah, so you're like, okay, I bought the ranch. Okay, my kids have a place to grow up on.
Now they got to kick you out of it, And he probably said, look, people will fucking feel for me. Just do the fucking fundraising. Just make it happen. Pitch it. Get a publicist. They probably have a publicist. Exactly. It was all fucking, it's awesome.
You should have made a show of it.
Ooh, no.
You would have made a lot more money.
Yeah. No, they did great, man. They got fucking millions of dollars. All right, listen.
Yes. I'm listening.
What else is going on in the world today? Do you have any stories? Or are we just going to get to the reading?
I've
Cosmic Urgency has lost his patience again.
I've just had like my nose in astrology stuff because this is the most exciting week of the astrological forecast year. And so I don't know what's going on. Obviously,
Florida Man is back.
Obviously, everything terrible is going on.
Well,
so there's a lot
that.
of people who are like digging deep into the Epstein files and uncovering horrors untold.
There's another Florida Man arrest.
Florida Man? What did the Florida Man do this time?
For performing a sex act on a vacuum cleaner at a Kissimmee report. And
you can get arrested for that?
Well, yeah, because it was public.
Well, why did he go and do that?
But it was his second time.
What did you say, Kissimmee?
It's called Kissimmee. Kissimmee. Kissimmee.
A town?
Resort. It's a resort.
He porked a vacuum
he
cleaner
fucked a vacuum cleaner
at a resort.
At a resort where
Listen,
people
he's
could
just
see
trying
it.
to have a relaxing vacation,
It was
and
the
everybody
second
else has to is all up in arms about it.
It was the second time he did it.
What? Tell me everything.
He did another one. I can't because
he's a repeat
it's
offender.
a TV. It's like a.
Is it vacuum
It's not
cleaner?
an article.
Was it a vacuum cleaner last time too?
It's like one of those like really funny local like affiliate reporters or news anchors.
Who's getting punished by being on this beat?
So this guy, he got busted for fucking his vacuum at a resort, and then he also got like some kind of like warning and fined by his homeowners association
you try and live
because
a
he
little.
was banging a vacuum cleaner on the road in his little cul-de-sac or some shit like that. Do you ever see that? Did you ever see that show Taboo? Is that what it was called? Taboos? Do you know what I'm talking about? There was it was like an HBO show, I think it was. I caught a few of them. I never like saw it religiously or anything, but I did see a few of them.
There's also another one about like my secret addiction or something that people do really fucking weird shit.
Well, there was this guy on that one, on the Taboo one, who like he wanted to sleep with cars. Like he would like he had sex with cars. He had sex with cars.
He had intimacy with cars too, which was super
weird. It was like he had really
like
deep relationships with them, and
I feel like he was just doing that for the cameras, though.
you know that Lars and
the Real Girl.
The Real Girl
is a surprisingly good movie.
It was a surprisingly very good movie. It really was.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I started to say is that I think that this guy's situation is not about the vacuum cleaners. I think the problem with him doesn't have anything to do with vacuum cleaners. It seems like there's a lot more going on with this guy and his broken brain.
It's just a fascinating story. I just can't even believe it's real, but it's absolutely real. This guy, he has intercourse with a vacuum.
Do you think the cops showed up? They're like exhausted by this already because they've been called before. They're like,
I hope he
sir,
wears a condom. You know what I mean?
sir, we told you to keep your vacuum cleaner kink indoors. What did we say? Now here we are.
It's
again.
not
You're gonna
technically
get
illegal to
arrested.
bang vacuum cleaners, although I think it should be.
What a fucking weirdo. Can you imagine growing up as a kid in that neighborhood where you're like, you know? The weird thing that happened in my neighborhood when I was a kid was we had this neighbor that used to bang vacuum
Or
cleaners.
just being that guy's cousin.
In the middle of the cul-de-sac.
Just being that guy's cousin.
Oh my God, I know.
And like for the rest of your
Thanksgiving-
life, you could be like, what's the craziest story that ever happened in your family? You're like,
how about on like, you know, they all gather for Thanksgiving dinner and then somebody like drops some of the rice or stuffing or something on the floor and the other person's like, oh, let me just go get the vacuum cleaner. And because it's an in-law or something, they're like, no, stop. You can't bring the vacuum cleaner out. No, that didn't get any laugh. Okay. I'm going to go back outside again.
no, I'm sorry. I'm tripping. I'm just like now lining up all my shit. Did you see all the shit about Obama?
I heard that Obama was running his mouth about aliens.
He said that
and
aliens
it's like,
are real.
quit playing fucking games with us. If you know about aliens, tell us what you fucking know.
Yeah.
And if you don't know about aliens, quit playing games with us.
He said in this interview, aliens are real, and he said it very like matter-of-factly.
No, he prefaced it with, he's like, well, yeah, aliens are real, but they never showed me any.
Right, and then he said that they didn't show him, and then he said, after that, when he was asked what was the first thing he did as president, was the first thing he goes, oh, where are the aliens? Show me the aliens. And so, which is exactly why my guess is that they don't. It's like it's just too eager, and it's just one of those secrets where I think they well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Because he said that it was the first thing he asked when he was after being sworn in as president, and I assume it's the first thing that probably most presidents asked since 1947 or whatever it was.
What he should have been asking, if you ask me, a first-time Obama voter from his very first election, was his first question should have been, how do we close Guantanamo Bay?
So what I'm saying
That's what I was expecting him. That's what
I'm not turning it into a conversation about Guantanamo Bay, bro.
That was the question he said he was going to ask when he first got into office.
Stick to the topics.
Here we are.
Stick to
Guantanamo's still open. Fucking traitor.
I think so. He tried.
That sucks.
Where I'm going is that he's retracting. He's saying
He's retracting.
Yeah, he's saying he didn't mean that he knows for sure.
Our alien overlords told me that I can't just come right out with it.
Yeah, whatever. There's some secret there that he's not supposed to be telling, that he basically let slip out in that conversation, and that he got a quick reprimand for, and it wasn't because the fever was out in because he's the highest. He would be the highest person obviously in America to come forward and say aliens are fucking. I believe him. I don't think he's lying. It's not the first time he's fucking said it, by the way. He said it another time, but he didn't put it quite that way.
You know what I really like about this story?
What?
Is that it's genuinely about this conversation that he had on a podcast where he was asked about aliens and he said something that he later retracted. If it was any other politician right now in office, it would be, this conversation would be a very obvious distraction from something totally worse and more heinous that they don't want to talk about. But this is like so pure. It's so pure in its like actual reality that this is what's happening. The controversy is about what he said about aliens, and it's not a cover up for something else. And isn't that nice? As like, just like a palate cleanser from all the other fucking garbage that we've been like propagandized.
Yeah. Meska says, explaining the vacuum cleaner story is funnier than the actual story. And as soon as I read that, I thought to myself, like, so when does he change the bag? Like, does he have to change the bag? Like, what's that whole ritual? And is the changing the bag, like, is that foreplay? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know if you changed a vacuum cleaner bag, but
I have hundreds of times.
There is like a little like stiff cardboard cap.
Dude.
That like ridge that has to get fit into like a tube.
A funny sub that I follow is
don't
put your dick
erotic.
in that. And that's certainly been on there a bunch of times. Don't put your dick in that. It's a really funny sub.
Stupid.
Let me just get this new bag.
It's so funny because imagining somebody making that like sensual or sexual is just impossible.
Put a little Luther Vandross on, dim the lights, and get the old Electrolux out.
Electrolux?
Maybe it's Hoover. I don't know. Maybe he's got several models. Maybe he's got like uprights and canisters.
Yeah, he's got to have like a favorite.
Like canisters is like
canister
doggy.
vacuums.
It's like doggy or something. I'm going out of control. I'm losing control. I've lost it.
There's a better joke in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I just have to find it. We're going to have to go on tour, on a comedy tour, and workshop it in like 15 cities before we finally
just
find
meet
it.
some actual comedians, because I'm not a comedian anymore. I was a comedian for 5 minutes, bro.
I'm not a comedian. I don't know if you guys know this. It's probably obvious.
Pretty funny though, as it goes. Anyway,
you are very funny. It's true.
No, I said you're pretty funny.
Me?
Bro. Yes.
I'm not. I think if I ever get laughs, it's because of awkwardness, where people are like, "Oh, that poor thing."
Before we start reading, can we move on? Are we done? I'm just
reading?
keeping them. So before we start reading, I just want to point out how fucking delusional. Like it's so funny. Like Baldoni fans will show up here and call us delusional, call me delusional, call you delusional, call the chat delusional. And
okay.
This is on their sub. It says theory on why no settlement.
Oh my God, this is hilarious. This is so great. They have to have theories because it's not obvious to them.
Anyone have a theory on why there was no settlement? Asks this
because he's a defendant,
concerning citizen,
and she is a plaintiff who wants to go to trial.
My theory, says this person, Blake wanted to settle and have this all go away.
Did she?
She doesn't want the truth to be broadcast live during a trial like the Depp Heard trial. She went alone because she didn't think she would be there long. She went alone, Angela, because she thought they would be in and out.
Oh, because she was going to settle? She's like, let's get to business.
Listen to the madness here. Because like if obviously if Blake wants this to go away, all she has to do is what? Drop her
case. Yeah, okay. I didn't know what the word is.
Yeah,
what's the operative word?
Just have
I was
to
like,
drop
retract. That's not the word.
She went alone because she didn't think she would be there long. She would just say, "I want to drop it." She would say, I want to drop it." Justin would be grateful. NDAs all around, and they would all go home. Blake would be seen as the powerful woman who got her settlement. That didn't happen. Justin, listen to this madness.
Alan's coming.
Justin said no. For 6 hours, he said no. That's what she's saying. She said this. Justin said no, for 6 hours. He wants to go to trial. This person has flipped the switch. They live in an alternate fucking universe where defendants decide not to settle. Defendants whose cases have been thrown the fuck out, whose counter lawsuit has been tossed to the curb, they said no for 6 straight hours.
I'm curious about this person. Like, is this a teenager? Is this a kid? Is this somebody that doesn't know?
So I immediately go to comment section because I'm like,
oh, that was a
how
post?
could this be? Huh?
Somebody posted that?
That was the post.
Oh my God.
And the number one voted with more upvotes than the actual fucking post itself has for the comments is, honestly, Wayfarer parties probably don't want to settle for anything less than an admission that she lied and that Blake will never admit that she did it. Oh my God. Oh my God.
It doesn't work that way.
It's the most broke. There's a certain amount of fear that gets stricken in me. And like, I can't believe how unhinged this is. How completely separated from it's void of reality. Don't think it's about settlement money or anything like that. The currency here is reputation.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is true.
And they think, well, of course, and they think that that Justin Baldoni is not allowing the thing to settle. And then the very next comment, which is just so fucking phenomenal, is they say, correct. This was always the case. This is why I said 12 months ago, says this incredibly wise person who will lead you to a cliff and you will walk right off that fucking thing. You will walk off that thing and you will die. This is why I said 12 months ago that this case can never be settled.
That's why?
What happens if they came to a settlement with the NDA? Accusations of sexual harassment in 2020. Anyway, I'm not going to go through. It is. I mean, they can't be talked to.
Is there anybody who's telling them that it literally doesn't work that way? That defendants aren't in charge?
Well, I mean, I did. I mean, there's somewhere saying
Justin Baldoni doesn't have leverage to even force a settlement or anything. He has no leverage for it. Like, what is in it?
My response is, oh my God, she sued him. He had nothing to offer the settlement and no power whatsoever. His case was thrown out. She didn't settle because she wants a verdict. You really should start preparing, because I've read most of the depositions and JB is almost certainly going to lose this case. She brought the Mahong instead of Ronald Reynolds because she had no intention of settling.
Oh, Mahjong,
whatever.
Okay.
The court requires the parties to attempt a settlement. That's the only reason this conference happened. Mm-hmm. The trial's in May. That's what I said.
Prepare yourselves.
Prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves, you broken souls. I got my most downvoted ever.
They don't want to hear it.
Because I said, she's going to win. What will you say then? Because they just went off on this absolute fucking unhinged tangent. And I was like, she's going to win. What will you say then? Because about no settlement, you know?
I don't know. It's like, it won't even be fun to tell them I told you so. Because, like, who cares? Who cares that they're wrong? Like, they're just gonna, it's just like, it's not even fun to be right with absolute idiots. You know? It's
not even about being, well, to me, it's more than any of that. To me, it's like, this is the madness that is dominating pop culture. Mm-hmm. This is the madness that is dominating, pop fucking culture. It's I just can't believe it, personally.
Would you like to hear from the chat?
Yeah. That was a little Alan.
It was worthwhile. It was good. Hanada said that Baldoni's fans have lost touch with reality.
It's so true.
And as this case advances, the crazier their theories become, because they refuse to accept that something doesn't go, that some things don't go on his favor. They'll lose their minds, and then they'll refuse to accept a verdict. It's true. They're going to say that the jury was bought, the judge was bought. Like
yeah. Judge Lyman is Doug Lyman. This is a Hollywood fucking rigged deal. And it's Hollywood is rigged, but Sony called her a terrorist. Like they just sit there and talk. They just don't. It's just amazing how much they step on their own fucking feet. It's an impossibility.
Splishness just arrived. Said I walked in on a hell of a moment.
Well, at least you weren't bored to death with my. I think Cosmic Urgency probably just fucking left alive. He probably just stomped out of the room because I was just sitting there. And the reason I was talking about the Vanderbeek thing was so long was because I didn't want to start a new subject while you weren't here.
Oh, come on. You got to just do that.
No. I don't have to say I didn't. It's just I was only displeasing one person. Everyone else was like, we'll wait for Angela.
Deanne said I watched Wolverine and Deadpool yesterday. Deadpool and Wolverine, I guess. Deadpool says that he has low bone density. It is such a piss take of Baldoni, and I loved it. Does he say that?
Yeah, well, I guess he does. Density? I don't know. I haven't seen it.
That's fucking weird.
Well, I mean, that makes me happy.
The Junk Farm said, I don't think that those people in the Reddit comments,
Yeah.
I don't think those are real people. Once the smear campaign stops, all of these bot farms will just stop responding.
But they're talking to themselves. They're
Yeah.
This isn't even. They're not persuading anybody. I show up here. I don't get people trying to convince me of anything. I get people just downvoting me and telling me to fuck off.
You don't understand. So the evidence that explains how Sage Steele came up with her talking points for her video, they'll organize these sorts of talking points. They'll have somebody post them, and then they'll amplify them by having a bunch of bots go and engage in the chat and like talk to, and to. So
you're talking like farming, kind of? You mean like kind of like farming
I know what
material?
literal farming is, but I don't know. I can't explain what farming is in these terms.
Why I say that is because that would make sense to me if they were in my feeds, if they're showing up here at this live. I mean, I say that loosely. We only have 100 people here so far or whatever, but
this post that you read was generated by them, posted by one of them or maybe somebody who's an associate with them. Okay. And then the comment section is flooded with all of these bots, and then they amplify it that way. Right. That's why you got downvoted so fast.
I don't know how fast it was.
I'm only explaining this because I read exactly how it goes in the exhibits about Sage Steele. So she was coordinating with Brian Friedman and the PR people about what to say. Then she put out a video, and then they used that video, spread it around all over in their journalism contacts, like their the entertainment magazines and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they had a bunch of people going into the comments section and amplifying it that way, and then they amplified it with the likes and all of this. That's the only reason I'm saying that. And that's Junk Farm gets a sense of this too, is like it might not even be real at all. Like after this trial ends, and that's, I don't know, I mean, maybe they'll continue to pay them. Maybe they'll continue to pay them for months after the trial ends. I don't know.
Listen, I don't think the point I'm trying to make is that I don't think it is all bots. I think that what I read here is not a bot. I think this is an actual human being who's not trying to, again, unless you're saying that they're trying to, like, there's no point in them creating a little sub for themselves to, sit there and like, feed each other the information that they think is, you know what I mean? Like they're not, marching out there and doing it. They're fucking just sitting here in this little insular place where nary a person like me wanders,
The Junk Farm said one of them accidentally replied to me in Vietnamese on Facebook once.
That's funny.
They forgot to turn on the translation.
Yeah, I mean the bots are fairly obvious because a lot of them have just like set lines that they go out and they permeate. That's not to say that there aren't like they're warriors, they're soldiers.
Mescalero said, "Agree, Junk Farm. The dead internet theory at work." And Dale is arguing with bots.
I think I have at times, but I don't think I'm always arguing with bots. And hey, you know what? It's my life, and I'll do what I want with it. Okay.
So there.
Well, I actually think there's a value in the record that's being left. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, most of the time when I know I'm responding to a bot, I'm doing it so that people see the response, not because I'm actually engaged in a conversation with a fucking idiot. And I know I'm not arguing always with bots because bots don't get into long arguments. Like humans will go on and on and on about stupidity.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, paid for trolls. I think I run into more paid for trolls than I do bots. Well, like I say, the bots kind of just go away.
Well, there's that theory that maybe Jed Wallace was involved in, they call it the Florida Shuffle or whatever, where they exploit a bunch of addiction counseling people who are mandated by the court to attend rehab and addiction and work service. So there's this whole scam where you get stuck in this addiction recovery system that's being funded by the government, subsidized by the government. Right. And they make you work these little jobs like call centers and probably like fucking internet bot trolls and stuff like that. And they'll pay you, and the employer gets these government subsidies to have you working during your recovery. But apparently the scam is that you get because it's like kind of like a halfway house situation where like you're in this court ordered recovery, but the court has to sign off on your being released from it and finishing out. That if you do something like even like you break a small rule, like you smoke too close to the entrance or something like that, they can write you up and keep you in the program.
Right.
So they end up building these networks of like this like massive like slave labor network.
This country just can't let it go.
Stuck in recovery.
They just won't let it fucking go.
Well, so there's a few exhibits where they're describing Jed Wallace as a good person because he works with addiction recovery counseling.
Yeah, I've heard this.
And I was like, okay, he runs bot farms, but he also works in addiction recovery.
Yeah, dude.
This is interesting. This seems like a fit.
Free labor. Yeah, I mean, it's a theory that I think has extremely strong legs. Big legs, big, thick thighs.
So it... Just like you like them.
Yeah, good.
Sturdy.
Thick,
you can't
thick
knock
thighs.
them over. They might pick up rugby game every now and then,
like a speed skater kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. You're saying the theory has legs.
The theory has legs.
I also think that. So when you're saying that you don't think that you're arguing with bots, you think you're arguing with people that are paid to be bots.
Yeah, no, I think,
agree with you. I think
I think most bots don't argue. I think most bots post. I think I've answered probably 100 bots in my, just between Don's Plum and It Ends With Us, I've probably answered 100 bots. But conversations and the arguments, I'm arguing with their stupid trolls. And I like doing that because I crush them. Let me tell you something that I love about some of this. Like, there's at least 4 or maybe 5 posts where if people dig deep, they're going to find me posting page numbers to Judge Lyman's dismissal that just looks so bad for Justin Baldoni because it's, we've been over them on this live, but it's Lyman's comments where he's saying that the evidence strongly suggests that a smear campaign took place, etc. These kinds of messages.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you put those in those subs with page numbers, it's silence.
Yeah,
I get silence.
I know because
they never come back
with that.
No, because it's fucking, and the mods don't take it down.
I was scrolling back up in the chat. Phil Baumling brought jokes.
Okay.
You were talking about how you have 4 names.
Dale, Norman, Irwin, Wheatley. How can I help you?
Yeah. Okay. So Phil Baumling said, Dale, you could go with that middle name, but you must show us a picture of your panel van.
Dude, I want one.
I know.
It's funny you should say that. I want one. I would fucking with like carpet on the back door.
Yes.
Because you got to put your feet there. So just put carpet right on the back door. I had a friend with carpet on the back door one.
Why did he have carpet on the back door?
Because he had all the shit in his van and he slept in it too. So the cold door, his feet would touch the cold door. He's like, oh fuck, it was horrible. So he just carpeted it.
How'd he carpet it? Glue? What did he do?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I didn't ask him. He fucking put carpet down. I don't know how he did
it. You're saying you want to have a van that you sleep in? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, that's where this thing seems to be heading.
You with your 4 names?
Nomad. Dale, Norman, Irwin, Wheatley, the Nomad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have 4 names. I hate them. I hate them all pretty much. I mean, Wheatley's not too bad, but Dale, it's like water. Dale, water, Dale. So, You know, not in terms of its essential.
It is kind of difficult to have a single syllable name, I think.
Dale.
You're
it's
just like,
it's like going over a bump.
Yeah.
What was that, Dale? And then, like Norman. I mean, I love Norm Macdonald. And maybe I could have gone by Norm, possibly. But Norman is not, it's not like a name where you're like, doesn't it sound like it's too much of it passes through the nasals.
It does. And also I think that it works for Norm Macdonald because he's a comedian. So it's funny.
He very much embodies it. He embodies Norm. Yeah. And then you got Irwin, where that is a last name at best. As a first name goes, it just feels it's too close to sound like worm, right? Irwin, wormy, Irwin. Irwin is a worm. Like if I had a worm and I named it, if I had a pet
very
worm,
nasally.
And it's got some worm. Yeah, it pushes up into the cavities. It's no good. And then there's Wheatley, which sounds like something that goes with tea, or for tea. Fuck my name.
What would you prefer to be called?
Dale will do. I mean, it is what it is, right? Bump. Just call me Bump.
If you were named Scott, would you go by Scooter?
Scoots. I'm straight Scoots. I would go all the way with Scoots.
There's this dog here who just looks at me and cries about it.
No, dude, when you were gone,
I know. It was like a big...
You don't understand what we went
crisis.
through. Like, I actually give myself an award. I'm going to give myself an award right now.
Stop it, bro. Nobody wants to hear.
Yeah, shut up. Just shut up. Like, what are you even crying for? There's nothing to... Don't look at me and cry now. This dog, man. I'm telling you, it's the most needy dog. It can't be like more than 3 feet away. Where why are you 3 feet away? Why are we breaking up? We just got together.
Panel van. We're going to get you a panel van. Then you'll be happy.
Wait, we got one called Cyber Notice Droids 112 says, so Florida was paid by Baldoni to get, Flaw. Kirsty Flaw was paid by Baldoni to reload her video. So I guess you all think that was impossible for her to do it by herself.
I don't know if she was paid by
Listen,
Baldoni.
bro, if you think here's what's funny. You're saying that we're the ones being unreasonable, but you think that it's just a coincidence that when he hired Crisis PR, sent them a fucking text that said, this is what we need, and it's Hailey Bieber bullying other women, that days later, Kirsty Flaw, you want to play with the fucking idea that was just a coincidence. And the video was at that time 6 years old.
And then as soon as it went
6 years old, bro.
What we do see is that as soon as it went up, they tell each other about it and they share it and they send it to all of their
Come
journalism
on,
networks.
dude. Like literally, like you man, just you gotta go. It'll hurt, but rub them real hard, open them up, and fucking see the light, baby. Just rub your eyes and see the light because it's there. You're trying to like say that people who think that coincidence is too much of a coincidence are the ones who are unreasonable in here.
Okay, here's the thing.
And that's just insane to me.
Let's say that it's possible that Kirsty Flaw saw that there was some bad press about Blake Lively and was like, you know what? I'm going to jump on this train. I'm going to put up this video and I'm going to frame it as if it's bad press about Blake Lively. Okay, let's just say that she did that independently.
Right, okay, yeah.
Justin Baldoni's publicists still... in evidence, exploited that, shared it, amplified it.
They did.
And that is not something they're allowed to do unless they want to be subjected to civil litigation, which is what they got themselves into.
Steve Sarowitz testified to, although it didn't work, testified to hiring somebody for the specific job of escalating a particular
of amplifying
piece,
a video.
amplifying a video.
Right, that's right.
So it's just, come on, bro. So while I completely, wholly reject the idea that it was a coincidence, that Kirsty Flaw, right when Justin Baldoni happens to be looking for
like it's an
a
order
story,
yeah.
a story of Blake Lively being a bully to women, days later, Kirsty Flaw just fucking like a miracle. Because you know why? It's the Baha'i faith, bro. It's the fucking, all the gods going through him. That's what they do, they go through Justin fucking, what's his name? Justin Bieber? No. Justin Baldoni. The pepperoni salesman. He's a pepperoni salesman.
That's what he sounds like.
Baldoni's pepperonis. Stop it. Go away. Go sit down. I don't even like you that much. I mean, I like you fine, but this is not the version of you that I like. So like, it's just absolutely ridiculous that you think that's anything other than what it is on its face. And frankly, it's why so many people get away with so much shit around here, is because people don't want to fucking see the obvious for the obvious, especially when it contradicts something that they want to feel or believe about something else or somebody else. You want to feel shitty about somebody. You want to hate Blake Lively. Well, guess what, man? You can fucking hate Blake Lively. You can hate her for all your fucking days. And Justin Baldoni can still be somebody who harassed her. He can still be somebody who retaliated against her. She can still be right in this situation. And your hatred can still flow like a river.
I actually went looking this weekend for what the Baha'i faith says about revenge. Because I know that Justin Baldoni said that he didn't feel like the reason why his explanation for why he sent that text message to his publicist about Hailey Bieber being a bully to women, he said that the reason why he sent that was because he felt that he had been bullied by Blake Lively.
Right.
But what he's doing in his deposition when he explains that is he's making her case for calling it retaliation.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so if Justin Baldoni felt bullied by Blake Lively,
right,
and then he wanted his publicist to put out press that was negative about her to ruin her reputation, I was like, that is definitely revenge, retaliation, revenge, whatever. What does the Baha'i faith say about that? Because he's very, very closely aligned with his faith.
Do you have it with you?
Yes.
Well,
so
share it with us.
It only gave me 2 results, which is, I didn't feel like looking further because, I don't really care that much.
Share what you got.
This is a letter from the Universal House of Justice, which Baha'i, I've learned, has names for like all this, all these kinds of names.
The Universal House of Justice?
This is a letter from the Universal House of Justice.
Who's the head of that?
To a National Spiritual Assembly. Okay, this is dated January 25th, 1972.
Spiritual Assembly in 1972?
Yes.
Wow, that must have been a fucking great night out.
What?
What are you doing tonight? I'm out with the Spiritual Assembly, National Spiritual Assembly.
I'm hanging out, attending the Universal House of Justice National Spiritual Assembly.
Yeah, it just makes me want to pound my fist into something.
Okay, check this out. So this is what they said.
Okay.
The temptation to react sharply and defensively is very great, yet we know that as trustees of the merciful, that's another label they have for themselves. As trustees of the merciful, we should not do so. Not only is it contrary to the spirit of the instructions of the master and the guardian, don't know what those are, with which you are thoroughly familiar, but giving vent to such reactions tends to evoke resentment rather than bringing about the desired result. This was accessible to me. It could have also been accessible to Justin Baldoni. Okay?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Here's another. This is a deeper cut. This is from the writings of Abul Baha. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Doesn't matter.
Maybe this is the guy.
Somebody will hate you for it, but it won't be me.
I'm sorry, Abdul Baha. I don't know what this is. Okay. Anyway, this sounds like a spiritual text, like a Bible. It's written kind of biblically. Okay.
Yeah.
Beware, beware, lest any of you seek vengeance even against one who is thirsting for your blood. Beware, beware, lest ye offend the feelings of another, even though he be an evildoer and he wish you ill. Look ye not upon the creatures, look ye to their Creator. See ye not the never-yielding people, see but the Lord of hosts. Gaze ye not down upon the dust, gaze upward at the shining sun, which hath caused every patch of darksome earth to glow with light. They're saying don't seek vengeance. Instead, see the God in everyby.
And
he didn't do that.
Yet on 2 different occasions.
And look at where it got him.
And yet on 2 different occasions, in writing, he wrote about how he wanted to go to war, and how he had a discussion with Emily, and after their discussion, it was Emily also who wanted to go to war.
Yeah.
Wanted to go to war.
I don't know that, though.
And you know what's
we
interesting?
heard it from him, so he could have just been putting words in her mouth.
I'm just saying what he said, right? It is what it is, right? It's what he said. And then on top of that, you have, and then obviously you have everything that's ensued. It's just, come on. We got to get like, okay, so Cyber says, But Blake Lively did not contest that Flaw had nothing to do with its so-called smear campaign. And why are you so fired up when I mention Flaw? I think Flaw is I think she's one of the worst kinds of human beings on this earth. This is my opinion, and I'm giving it to you for entertainment purposes only. But I think Kirsty Flaw is just an absolute fucking, I mean, she's a terrible human being. Okay, here's the two options for Kirsty Flaw as a human. As a human, she was either, and yeah, Blake Lively can't prove that she was. So what? Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean she didn't do it.
So she's not party to the case anyway. Let
me finish
what the parties to the case did with that information is what's valuable to her in her case.
Kirsty Flaw either was paid to run that fucking story, to revamp that story and tell the world that this is why she almost walked away from her profession after this interview. Did you watch the interview? Like, what a fucking, come on, man. There was another, you quit your job after that? Is ridiculous. So that, whatever, to each their own in that respect. Okay. So she's either somebody who was taking advantage of the release of a movie. I got fucked over by Leonardo DiCaprio in a way that so few people have in Hollywood or otherwise. The man stole my career. He stole my movie. He screwed my fucking life up. I wrote a book about it. It's behind me. It's called Too Real a Hollywood Memoir. I put this book out a year before this movie came out because I was not going to interfere with the release of that movie.
Of one battle after another.
After one battle after another. So Kirsty Flaw, and that's an important distinction because to me, I'm not going to interfere with other people's commerce. I'm not going to try and ruin a fucking Paul Thomas Anderson or like in any way. I'm not going to ruin it, but I'm going to try and taint it in any way, with the release of my book. And I'm also not going to try to ride on the coattails of his fame, Leonardo DiCaprio's, should the movie be successful. Those were my reasons for not doing it. And that's just because I consider myself to be a decent fucking human being. Just a commonly decent human being. Nothing special, nothing extraordinary, nothing that needs to be congratulated or admired or revered. Just fucking straight up common decency between humans. I'm not going to interfere with your job with my beef with you. That's not how I'm going to roll.
Also, when you're used to working in entertainment like Kirsty Flaw is, you understand the concept of upstaging somebody or stealing their spotlight or something. This is something that's very fucking uncool to do.
So she's either somebody who's trying to ride the fucking coattails of the success of a movie that Blake Lively starred in, which is disgusting and low.
By bashing her.
Or she's been hired or engaged in some way through their publicists or people who know their publicists in order to fucking set out and achieve Justin Baldoni's desire for a Hailey Bieber-like story about Blake Lively bullying fucking women. It's only one of those two things. So Kirsty Flaw, to me, is just the scum of the earth. Absolute lowlife.
Cybernautic Droid said Blake Lively acted like a bitch to her, right?
So
she should have been worse.
So what?
Because look at how she's behaving now.
So what? She didn't like her.
She should have done it harder, I think.
Yeah. So
I
what?
feel
She
like
didn't like her.
It wasn't bitchy enough. Knowing what we know now about Kirsty Flaw and how.
And by the way, it's not like
what she's willing to do to somebody's reputation.
It's not like Kirsty Flaw hasn't made a total living off of it. Her whole fucking channel is just about the destruction of Blake Lively's life and career. That's all this woman is dedicated to.
She should have been meaner.
She's absolute trash. Oh, somebody liked the book. Layla liked the book. I think she's talking about my book. I'm hoping. If not, I mean, I love recommendations. So, but if it's my book, that's exciting. I'm so glad if you liked my book because I worked really hard on it and I want you to like it.
This is interesting. Deanne said, Hinata, my mom is Norwegian, and she said the question is culturally inappropriate. So now I have to go find out what this is.
What question it is?
I don't know.
God, was it me? Was I culturally inappropriate? I mean, I can do that.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool. So somebody was, this is great. Splishness said she made an inappropriate comment about someone else's body, saying, congrats on your little bump.
Yeah.
Blake Lively was rude to her, but the original comment was also rude.
It was. Yeah, there was nothing in that video that I thought was like.
So, Deanne said, "My mom is Norwegian." She said the question is culturally inappropriate.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It
would make sense that Norwegian people wouldn't be like very effusive about complimenting each other's bodies. You know. Just seems culturally like it fits.
Is that all you got? Anyway, so that's where did that come from? Oh, I don't even know where that came from. Where
the chat.
is? Let me try to find this other. Well, that's why Flaw talked about it. Flaw came. What do we? I don't know what you're talking about. Flaw came out of it. Flaw sued Hollywood Foreign Press because she was a crybaby. Says Deanne. She was. She's a crybaby. She ruined her own career because she was awful at it. First of all, I mean, those interviews were garbage. I mean, there was like she offered a nice bump. Great way to start it off.
That she couldn't stay light on her feet and like reclaim that interview.
Shows that she wasn't very much of a professional.
It does, but it's also like it's not her. It's not like she's some sort of like nighttime talk show host where that's her job to do.
Yeah.
If these people are trying to do like they do with these press junkets, right? And if they're supposed to sit with Kirsty Flaw and they don't want to talk to her and instead they talk to each other.
Yeah.
And it's catty and it's kind of obnoxious and it's kind of rude.
Yeah.
Literally, who gives a fuck? You get scheduled for another press junket the next day and the next day after that and the next day after that with other celebrities and you try and make the most of it. Like it's not like she has done worse for her reputation than that experience ever could have.
For sure. There are two things that I think she deserved the backlash she got. First one was getting married at Plantation.
Oh, you're talking about Blake Lively. I was saying Kirsty Flaw ruined her reputation more in her line of work by doing this
sure, of course.
Crazy unrelenting attack on Blake Lively than that interview could ever have done.
My guess is that she lost her job. My guess is that Kirsty Flaw eventually just, people were like, you're not even good at this, and maybe Blake Lively complained about, the way that this girl treated her, because I had heard, and I don't know, I can't confirm any of this, but I had heard or read that apparently she had asked for conversations about her pregnancy to be off the table.
Yes, this was.
I don't know if that's true.
This was exactly at the time when there was a hashtag Ask Her More campaign, where a bunch of celebrity women were really annoyed that all of these press junkets involved asking them about like what kind of underwear they wore under their tight wardrobe in the whatever film shoot it was. Yeah. They were being asked all of these weird sexist questions, and they were pushing back against this. And Kirsty Flaw, in her line of work, should have been very, very fucking aware that there was this campaign of Ask Her More. And commenting on somebody's body, even if you're congratulating them on a pregnancy, was just completely expected to be uncool in the campaign of hashtag Ask Her More. These women that were sharing this hashtag because they wanted to be asked about their professional, their process for preparing for roles, their experience filming the roles, their collaborations, all of these things that men are asked about.
So where I was going was that there were two things that I thought that Blake Lively did that she deserved the backlash for, and I also think that she answered them appropriately. The one was the Plantation, being married at the Plantation. When you're a celebrity, you have to be aware of these fucking things. If you're not aware of these things, then it's going to come back on you, and it did on her and Ryan Reynolds. I also happened to have, after finding out about it, I was like, well, okay, this is important to me. So where were they on this? What happened? What was this? And then I went and I read their explanations for the mistake, and I bought into them. I was like, okay, because they were incredibly apologetic, like to the point where, like, what Ryan Reynolds said is that I know that there's nothing I can say or do really in this entire life to make up for this. This was a massive mistake on our part. We were looking for a place to get married that was beautiful. That was it. We did not think this through. And so I'm paraphrasing, but
no, I know it was like a relief after you see so many of these prepared statements from celebrities that act badly, and their statements are basically like, okay, I'm sorry, but we should all just move on. This is too much.
Yeah, the so-called apologies, right? All those
exactly.
these non-apology.
Oh my
apologies.
God, Phil Bumling's making such a good point. Just to put this into perspective, Russell Crowe beamed someone with a cell phone, but his career and reputation wasn't ruined by a smear campaign.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That is so fucking perfect. That is absolutely so perfect. We also heard fucking Tom Cruise berating people on his set during COVID because somebody broke a COVID protocol, and what happened to him? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I was on his side about that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The way you treat people can, like you could have easily turned that into he's the biggest dick ever.
Nobody called Tom Cruise difficult to work with.
Right. But look, the better example was made by Phil Baumling, 100%. He can, and this is the double standard in Hollywood through and through, and in life in general.
The Junk Farm said that Blake Lively's eye roll at the end spoke volumes. Multiple people had a problem with Kirstie Flott, not just Blake.
Exactly.
Deanne said asking Anne Hathaway to sing the answers was so fucking childish. So you're right. She probably lost her job because they're like, people are complaining about you, and that's just not what we do.
No, I bet you there were people who are saying, I don't want to be interviewed by her.
We need to get the soundbite, and we need to move on.
Yeah.
That is your entire job. Is like, ask them a question, get the soundbite for the studio, move on. That's how you continue to get hired.
I'm convinced she was just terrible at her job and ended up losing her job. And maybe Blake Lively was one of the voices supporting that. The
chat's been really...
Did you have no.
Cosmic Urgency wants to know, did Angela have a wardrobe malfunction?
No.
Did I?
No, you had a client issue.
Did I show my boobs on accident?
Yes.
Did one of my boobs fall out?
Yes. Fell all the
God,
way
how
out.
embarrassing. That happens sometimes here on the live. Where
All the
like
time.
I'll just lean over too far and the boob will just fall right out of my hoodie.
Nipplegate 2026. Yeah, so anyway, obviously Blake Lively is not, and look, in Hollywood, like all this shit, this is what I'm saying about like earlier stuff is like in Hollywood, the divide between Blake Lively, the divide between Justin Baldoni, that's not a divide that is uncommon in Hollywood. And that includes people who might be considered hypocritical based on the persona or whatever that they're putting forward and how that might rumor through Hollywood. The difference between what happened with Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively and any other similar dispute in Hollywood is that those are usually carried out under, behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And, this is important because, yes, he would have still suffered some damage from Blake Lively because she's obviously in a very powerful position as a movie star. But in no way, shape, or form would she have been able to stop his career unless she pulled out some fucking, weird, horrible lie. Maybe she told some crazy lie. But based on the shit that went down on that set, she would have never been able to end his career over that.
This is great.
At all. It would have never happened.
Deanne said, why was Parker Posey not being called a mean girl?
That's what I was saying.
And Phil Baumling said...
She was worse than Blake Lively.
Phil Baumling said, nobody wants to pay $30,000 a month to take down Parker Posey. That's the reason. That's the difference.
That is the difference. It's so well put, man. We have the best chat, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's really great.
It's as perfectly put as it can be. It's exactly that. It's a smear campaign. This is what I'm saying. Forensically, this jury, the jury that finally gets elected, they're going to see some crazy shit. Mm-hmm. They're going to see these numbers just get jacked.
Hey, can you stop?
Also,
Deanne said that calling Blake Lively Plantation Barbie kind of stuck in the spin cycle thanks to Perez Hilton.
Yeah.
He had all these little names. That's going to show up in trial too.
Plantation Barbie?
No, just like all the little names that Perez Hilton rolled with and that the publicists are shown in their text messages together laughing about and quoting.
Yeah.
Can't happen soon enough if you ask me. And nobody did. Nobody asked me.
Everyone asked you, bro.
The dog asked me.
Dearest, this dog's name is Gunner.
His name's Gunner.
Fucking Gunner.
He has a deformed face because he's like a boxer mix, but it's like he inherited all the worst parts of that deformity.
His underbite is tremendous.
So he'll just look at you with his underbite and his like big eyes and then just like cry at you. He's like a really bad communicator. I never know why he's upset. And he doesn't ever tell anybody why.
Cosmic Urgency is saying that a lot of people were hating on Parker Posey, but not like this. Mm-mm. Not like this at all. Parker Posey's doing just fine. She gets like awards and shit and, roles and, her career rolls on. Assholes, keep going in Hollywood all the time. You can fucking blow it, especially if you're not established. But
yes,
if you're established,
they have no problem with somebody like Parker Posey being a jerk to the interviewer at the press junket. Like if she's not a jerk to executives or producers or directors, she can be a jerk to literally everybody else and nobody cares. You know?
Exactly.
And nobody would have cared about Blake Lively either, except that Justin Baldoni decided to make a big fuss about it.
I got a Tanner sighting.
Oh, sweet.
What's up, Tanner? Still trying to forgive the Mets for taking our outfielder.
Okay, so should I start in our conclusion of the Steve Sarowitz deposition?
Tanner's asking for new shoe recommendations, and I'm like, we don't know fashion.
Yeah, I definitely don't know fashion. I don't know, like New Balance are good. Saucony, those are good sneakers.
You can't do New Balance because, baseball.
Because of baseball?
Yeah.
Why?
Is it Otani?
Okay.
Yeah, he does New Balance commercials.
So?
He's on the other team, Angela.
Oh, you're going to be tribalist?
Yes.
About sneakers now?
Go with Chucks, bro. You can't beat Chucks.
I always hated them.
Really?
Yeah, I like that there's like a little...
Would you shut up?
I like shoes that have like actually a little bit of comfort around the sides of your foot, the sides and the back of your foot.
Yeah.
Chucks is like just canvas. Just flat canvas. No padding whatsoever. What?
Honestly, dude.
All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to experiment with kicking this dog out of our room because he's obviously too talkative. But then I'm going to come back and then I'm going to read the rest of the Steve Sarowitz depositions.
All right.
So do you want to talk to the chat for just 1 minute?
It's just you and me, guys.
While I do
Cosmic
eviction?
urgency, you're probably going to get a coffee or something, bud. Because I'm solo banking.
Right here.
Shannon, by the way, I did see you say Nosy Jones. I love Nosy Jones. I just saw a Shannon. Damn it. I moved my cursor and now it's all gone. You guys are chatting it. Cyber says I have some deep hate. Well, I don't like her for Kirsty Flaw. It's not about hate. I don't like her. I think
What should you like somebody like her?
hatred is not. I think she's an awful human being. You don't know this channel or me. I go on rants all the time. The reason why we're so popular and we have so many followers or subscribers is because of my rants.
But you've also been through a smear campaign.
I'm famous for my rants.
You've also been through a smear campaign.
Yeah, this is the thing is I get triggered because I've been through it, dude. Leonardo DiCaprio ruined my life. He stole my movie. I've been through all of this shit that Blake Lively is going through. And what's so crazy about it is as soon as this story broke, I was like, fuck, this is what Leo did to me. And so I was promoting my book at the time. So I had this TikTok going and I had a couple of TikToks hit. We had that one that went 3 million and we had that other one that go 500,000 or whatever. And so the comments were flying, and in the comments were all these bots, and like it was all hired shit. It was all hired shit. And then a bunch of people were showing up and trying to make up shit about me in the chat, like in the comments, like make shit about shit like that there were rumors of me being accused by women. Like that never happened. Not a single woman ever. Like it's never ever happened anywhere. It's impossible. Angela had to ask me out.
I know, knowing you, I just find it's just funny to me to think that you would ever
the most absurd thing ever.
Play like power control games or whatever.
I am barely capable. Yeah, I'm not capable of that.
Literally, after 6 months of waiting for Dale to ask me out, I finally asked him out on our first date.
It was very funny. You were like, "Do you want to go out?" And like, yes, I do so badly. I've only been coming here every day. So my point is that I've been through it, and that's a part of why I'm triggered by it. Because what I see Kirsty Flaw doing, I see as, what can be worse? Like, is there something like? Obviously, that isn't considered criminal. What could be worse than what they're doing? This is cyberbullying. This is the kind of cyberbullying that if Blake Lively wasn't who she was, rich, famous, beautiful, mother of many children, and wickedly talented, this is the kind of stuff that drives people to terrible lengths of depression or depths of depression, and possibly life endangering stuff. Mm-hmm. it's fucking terrible. So that's why this woman makes me absolutely sick to my stomach. She does. I find her, more than appalling. Just more than appalling. And yeah, I just think she's an evil person. I think that the kind of things that woman is doing to try and ruin this person's reputation. I feel the same way about Andy Signor. I feel the same way about Zach Peter. I even, like, those guys are even worse because they don't even know anything about this shit. They've never spent a minute in fucking Hollywood as actual, in the business. And they certainly don't know anything about these human beings who are under attack, whether it's Justin Baldoni and you're on that side of things, or it's Blake Lively. Doesn't matter. They don't know anything about anybody. They sit there and fucking yak like they do. They don't know anything about the business. And, and neither does Kirstie Flaw. She's a fucking interviewer. She hasn't got the slightest clue of how the business works. Fucking Egypt,
Okay,
as they say
I'm so
in
sorry.
Ireland.
Managing a very needy dog here. I would like to finish reading these depositions. Is that okay? Is this a good time?
Yeah, and Steve Sarowitz, dude. Just saying. Steve Sarowitz's testimony, we're about to finish it. But the last live, I think it was Fridays, was when we first started. Was that our first read of it? So
No, I can't remember.
I think this is the second one.
This
So this is the
I think,
second.
the third.
This is the second Sarowitz, I believe. It possibly could be. I think it's the second one. And this deposition is devastating, in my opinion. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so you can laugh it off, but I think it's devastating because on more than one occasion, Steve Sarowitz admits to engaging in
A smear campaign.
a smear campaign.
Yeah. There's no justifiable reason to do that. They keep saying that it was in preemptive self-defense, and that's actually not a thing.
Yeah.
They were doing offensive.
Yeah, that's not a thing. That's retaliation.
Yes.
You can't preempt defense.
Yeah. What Blake Lively was complaining about are protected claims. They can't just fucking retaliate or sue or any of these other things without subjecting themselves to civil litigation.
Preempting an attack is retaliating before something happened.
But he keeps making her case for conspiracy and for aiding and abetting harassment and retaliation. So we'll see how it goes.
Cyber says, was Parker Posey really that bad? Or was she just going with the flow? Because this is what everybody says about Blake Lively. Blake Lively has the ability to completely coerce the entire world. The New York Times, William Morris, Sony, the entire cast and crew of It Ends With Us. Listen, the New York Times, Angela, this is how powerful Blake Lively is. She can take a Pulitzer Prize winning writer and manipulate her into telling nothing but lies on her behalf. You know why? So she could get the rights. She already has a 10% fucking back end, but you might as well get the rights while you're at it so she can have ownership and authorship, right? Like, at some point, Cyber, you got to start asking about what makes sense. Like, you think Parker Posey doesn't think independently? You think Parker Posey isn't there representing Parker Posey? You think that these actors who've been in the game for decades, that Blake Lively is able to have them risk their reputations in interviews for her leisure, for her pleasure? I mean, none of that makes any sense, dude. You don't have to think long about that to figure out that that's just garbage, man. All right, let's read this. The Sarowitz
I'm not
depositions.
convinced that you want to.
Huh?
I'm not convinced that you want to.
The Sarowitz deposition is damning. Stick around for it, and we'll see if it continues to be.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Okay. You sure? Okay. Let me see where we.
Don't be poking Alan.
I'm not poking.
You're poking Alan.
No, you just wanted to continue to read. You said Steve Sarowitz, bro, and then you went on another 10 minutes, and which is great. I'm very interested. I want to hear from the.
Don't exaggerate.
I want to hear from the chat too, but I just wasn't sure whether you were really ready or whether you were still talking to everybody. Okay. I'm so sorry if you guys can hear that dog squeaking.
If you stick around, confession, I'll blow that silly statement out of the water after this.
Would you pet him real quick?
Sure, yeah.
I don't know how to make this dog happy.
I mean, as soon as I go away, this is going to continue.
Was there ever a time, this is the attorney asking, was there ever a time, again, prior to this litigation, where you learned that someone on the set raised concerns that Mr. Baldoni's behavior was inappropriate during filming? And Steve Sarowitz says, I'm not aware of any HR complaints that were raised or any SAG complaints that were raised by his behavior. Question. Well, that's an interesting way of distinguishing the question, because that's precisely how your PR people talked about it on to the press. So my question to you, sir, was not about HR complaints or SAG complaints. My question to you was whether, and I will reread it if I can find it, the attorney says, my question was whether you ever became aware prior to this litigation of anyone on the set raising concerns that Mr. Baldoni's behavior during filming was inappropriate. He said, I don't recall. Do you see, this attorney is asking, do you see is it fair to say that under the Wayfarer Studios policy, the thing that you want your employees to do when they feel that they have experienced this type of prohibited behavior is promptly advise the offender that his or her behavior is unwelcome and request that it be discontinued? And he said, yes. And what is supposed to happen when an individual follows that policy to the letter? Steve Sarowitz says, although I'm not responsible for this because I'm not the one actually implementing this, the behavior should stop. That would not be my individual responsibility as an individual.
He's a weird dude, man. Like, he just got lucky. This guy got lucky.
Gottlieb is the attorney asking the questions I just saw again still. Gottlieb says, but the reason the policy is written this way is because the hope is by promptly reporting it and asking for that behavior to be discontinued, whoever's doing it will stop, right? And Steve Sarowitz says, I would not be personally involved, but that would be the hope.
Listen to him just like, it's so funny how he's just evading
every time
all responsibility. Like, yeah. It's like, that's not going to work.
He answers the question, but he's like, you shouldn't be asking.
That's not going to work. It doesn't have anything to do with me personally, and I would never get involved in anything like this, but yes, indeed.
Gottlieb says, that's your understanding of the purpose of this policy, right? He said, yes. Gottlieb says, and the next section under quotes, supervisor and manager responsibilities states, and this is a quote from their Wayfarer manual, if any supervisor or manager becomes aware of a violation of this policy, they are obligated to report the violation to human resources/management so that Wayfarer Studios can investigate and, if appropriate, take corrective action. Do you see that? He says, where's that at? And the attorney says, in the section titled Supervisor and Manager Responsibilities. And Steve Sarowitz says, okay, yes. Did you supervise or manage any people at Wayfarer Studios during the filming of It Ends With Us? He says, no. Did Mr. Heath? He said, yes. Did Mr. Baldoni? He said, yes. So if Mr. Heath or Mr. Baldoni became aware of a violation of policy, they were obligated to report the violation under the terms of it. Is that correct? Steve Sarowitz says, I am not aware of what was or wasn't done, so I would say I don't know what they did. And the attorney says, I'm just asking you about what the policy requires. I mean, you understand that the obligation to report a violation that arises for supervisors and managers is triggered anytime a supervisor or manager becomes aware of a violation. That's what this policy says, right? And Steve Sarowitz says, yes.
By the way, I just want to make sure that people who are listening, especially those who are sitting here, who are like, defenders of Justin Baldoni, prior to this, Gottlieb went over the policies regarding what was, allowed and not allowed. And very specifically, Justin Baldoni, by his own testimony, violated those things. By Justin Baldoni's own testimony, which we read live on this podcast. Okay? So they've already admitted to it, and this policy is they're so fucked. They're so fucked.
That's true.
It's their policy. It's right here. They clearly violated it. And this is the reason why, for example, what's his name? Congressman Liu was talking about how he believes that Pam Bondi perjured herself in her recent testimony to Congress. And they were like, so the reporter asked, well, shouldn't she be prosecuted if she did? And his answer is she should be, but I highly doubt that she is going to prosecute herself. She's the attorney general. And this is what we had here in a very small way in this Wayfarer situation. The complaint
He's
was
the
to
boss.
Justin Baldoni.
Yep. About Justin Baldoni.
And what Justin Baldoni should have done,
Yeah.
according to his own policy, is take it to HR.
Right.
Had he taken it to HR, there would have been a complaint drawn up, and then from that complaint there would have been a whatever would be deemed an adequate investigation, and then a conclusion to that investigation, which would have had recommendations and so on and so forth, and then they would have a record for their defense.
I
That's
can't
not what
remember.
happened.
I can't remember which producer it was, but it was either Ange Giannetti or Alex Sachs who were saying that they heard that Jamie Heath said that he didn't want an investigation done because he didn't want anything to be documented about his behavior and Baldoni's behavior,
Which is a direct violation
of their own
policy
I know.
as read by Gottlieb to the owner of the fucking company, the co-chair himself,
Okay, so-
Stephen billionaire Sarowitz.
Gottlieb says, and that's a good policy to have, right? And Steve Sarowitz says, I think so.
Do you?
I don't know about the delivery on that. Maybe he said, I think so.
I think so. Is it?
There's no question mark. So it's definitely a statement. Okay. Gottlieb says, you don't want to force a low-level employee in an organization to have to invoke a formal process if a number of supervisors and managers already know what is going on, right? And Sarowitz says, so you're talking about a power imbalance? And then there's crosstalk. Gottlieb says, I'm just talking about the reason you have a policy like this. And Sarowitz says, I know, can I finish the question to you? So I just want to make sure I understand. Sarowitz says, so you're saying like a low-level employee, someone without any power who would not be able to get their way, being victimized by harassment or something similar. Is that what you're saying? And Gottlieb says, that's one example. Steve Sarowitz continues, of a low-level employee, just so I can understand what you mean by low-level employee. And Gottlieb says, let's strike
Like a fucking scumbag. You know what I mean?
You're a billionaire, Steve Sarowitz. You know who low-level employees are. That's everyone who works below you.
Literally everyone.
Literally everyone in the entire economy.
He's also
below
quite tall.
you.
He's also quite tall, so he's definitely looking down at
Okay,
almost all of them. Not all of them.
Gottlieb says, let's strike my reference to a low-level employee. Do you agree that it's a good policy to have? That if a supervisor or manager becomes aware of a violation of the policy, they're obligated to report it? And Steve Sarowitz says, to the best of my knowledge, yes. Okay. And Gottlieb says, that promotes accountability, right? And Steve Sarowitz says, to the best of my knowledge, yes. Gottlieb says, do you see on the next page that there's a section called investigation? Do you see how it states, and he's reading from the Wayfarer Employee Handbook, any reported allegations of harassment, discrimination, or retaliation? Would you pet that dog?
I'm trying to. He keeps moving away. It's hilarious. You just got to work through it, baby. We have with us a lonesome puppy.
Yeah, he's singing.
He's
and
just a lonesome
got
dog.
all of the attention.
He's singing the blues.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see how it states? Gottlieb is reading. This is a quote from the Employee Handbook. Any reported allegations of harassment, discrimination, or retaliation will be promptly and thoroughly investigated by qualified personnel in an impartial manner. And he says, uh-huh.
Sorry.
Gottlieb says, do you see how it then includes... Do you see how it then says, and he's quoting, Wayfarer Studios will ensure that these personnel will use the evidence to reach reasonable conclusions. And he says, yes. I'm not going to continue reading while he's singing. I don't think that your mic is right there. There's no way that this audio isn't coming through with his singing over everything I'm saying. So we're going to put this away, and I'm going to try and figure out how to keep this dog happy tomorrow when he's still with us. And he's like a Velcro dog, so he has to be with us, but he's complaining.
Well, I think the best thing to do, and we'll talk about it offline, is just to put him away and lock the fucking doors. All right, listen, let's get into it. Here's the thing. I'm just going to get into this chat because this guy Cyber has got me going. Or I don't know if it's a woman or whatever, but if I've mistaken your gender, I do apologize. But they said, at some point they said, and I got to get into this, they just, yeah, I mean, they're here dropping all the party lines. Junk Farm, you know exactly what I mean when I say she stole the movie from him. You know, with an exclamation. Well, let me tell you something. I'm a fucking filmmaker, and let me tell you something about how it really went. And by the way, you don't even have to take my fucking word for it, because you can just go and look at the depositions of Ange Giannetti and Josh Greenstein, both of whom were studio heads. Josh Greenstein being the biggest muff of them all, right? And Ange Giannetti being a 30-year or thereabouts, 20-plus year film executive veteran, right? So the common thing in a film is that directors don't get the cut. This is reality, dude. So you need to know how this works. Studios don't let directors have final cut in their movies. They almost never do this. There are very, very few exceptions. You probably know who those exceptions are. A Quentin Tarantino film, a Steven Spielberg movie, perhaps even a James Cameron movie. These kinds of filmmakers are the kinds of filmmakers who get final cuts of their movies. Everybody else does not. The studio, and this is the distributing studio, not the production studio if they're different. The marketing and distribution studio will always have final cut. In this case, they gave Justin Baldoni what's called a bake-off clause in his contract because he wanted final cut. And the way that they pacified him was they created a no way you're going to win clause in his contract, which he eventually failed. He had to hit astronomically high numbers in his cut in order to get the cut rights or final cut rights for It Ends With Us. He failed on those, and at that point, that's when the Sony cut occurred. Now, the way it works in studio movies is that the producer, or one of the producers typically, and this would be the producer who I would call the creative producer, that person would be the producer who would supervise the cut. They would be working directly with the editors and the rest of post-production staff to recut the movie or to cut or to make alterations to the existing cut, to satisfy the studio's needs for marketing. That's what happened here. Yes, Blake Lively cut the studio cut. You know why? Because she had the best ideas. And let me tell you something, and all the other fucking geniuses about this. The movie made $340 million. It broke all records in its genre. It is a historic release in this film. You guys show up here talking about Blake Lively stole the film. If she did, she made it an unbelievable success for them. Mm-hmm. For them, they own it. They still own it to this day. They are the largest benefactors of this movie financially.
Baldoni bought a fucking mansion with that money.
Baldoni bought a fucking mansion. Wow, amidst a lawsuit, that guy motherfucker figured out how to buy a mansion in fucking Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee. So this is all bullshit that you want to fucking make up about Blake Lively. But if we're going to go by what you say, then Blake Lively is nothing but a fucking genius. You're making her out to be nothing but a genius. She didn't steal anybody's film. And let me tell you something else. If anybody stole a movie from Justin Baldoni, it's because they lost control of it. They had everything. They had the rights. They had the studio. They had Jamie Heath was the producer. Did you know that this was Jamie Heath's first fucking movie that he was on a set for? Bro, you just don't know what you're talking about. You're showing up here and you don't know what you're talking about, and that's cool. But I hope you'll sit down and listen to what's actually real. Justin Baldoni never had cut rights, ever. They gave him a bake-off so they could get rid of him. And the reason they did that was because directors notoriously attach themselves to parts or all of the movie when the studio knows it needs to be different in order to make money. Justin Baldoni wanted to focus on domestic violence in his marketing, and Sony did not. And Sony explains it very explicitly in both their depositions that we've read so far from Giannetti and from Greenstein. And the reason being is because what they want to do is get the butts in seats and then expose them to those very serious themes. Less people are going to be interested in going to see a movie if the marketing about the movie is about women getting beaten, as opposed to people who want to go see a movie about a woman overcoming the evils of her life or the things that are keeping her down, about a woman becoming independent and owning a business and becoming successful by her own volition, on her own volition. But all you guys got it fucking figured out. All you marketing geniuses got it all figured out. And then you guys are, oh, fucking Blake Lively stole the movie. They still own it. So if you're not talking about physically stealing it, you want to talk about stealing it creatively. Well, that's not true, because if you want to say that somebody stole the movie from Justin Baldoni, it would be Sony with their bake-off clause. Because that's what got the movie away from Justin Baldoni. And the reason that they put that in there is because Justin Baldoni was always going to have the movie taken away from him.
It's a little
always.
sharp when you do that.
Always.
The Junk Farm said, it's weird that Blake Lively has no case because she never filed official HR. But they are somehow innocent because they never filed official HR, which broke the law and their company policy.
Yeah, exactly. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. I mean, it's just so mega, in its approach to anything that it belies common sense. And, why can't we have that? Can we just get that back? Like, can't we just have common sense back so people can show up here and be like, isn't it a little weird that Justin Baldoni says she stole the movie, but he still owns the movie? Isn't it a little weird that Justin Baldoni said that she tried to take his film by credit, but he still got a film by credit, which is the most vain credit in fucking film? Blake was an independent contractor. Half her claims are going to be dismissed. You don't know anything about law if you think that.
Melissa Jane said, love a Dale rant, and then a bunch of fire emojis. This is everybody was being really really sweet about the dog. Happiness in your life. So the dog isn't loud here. Maybe he needs a peanut butter Kong to be a good quiet boy.
Or a solid bunk on the head.
This is a great idea. However, this dog has a bunch of really bad allergies.
Yeah, this dog can't eat anything.
He can't just be given I would love to be able to do that for him because he would really enjoy it, but he can't.
It's probably a part of his misery.
I know. He can't have any fun.
No. And I'm just a ranter, bro. So you don't have to be offended by anything I'm doing, even if I'm offended by the things you're saying. And I am. I find it offensive that people don't want to pay attention to the obvious. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, people are screaming about, what I read earlier about this stupidity around. I know why it didn't settle. He didn't settle because he's powerless and he can't settle the case. The only person who can settle the case
has no leverage whatsoever.
None.
What is he going to bring to a settlement conference?
He can't offer anything.
He can't offer a single thing.
No.
There is nothing that she wants besides justice. That's it.
And the only thing he could offer would have to be a joint offering by Melissa Nathan. Because the only thing she could have walked out of there with potentially is, her 17-point document that she had at the break, right? From the strike. Mm-hmm. So that 17-point document expanded to include all of the other defendants and their actions and admissions of those actions, public statements and apologies of those actions, and then of course the compensation for those actions that would include certainly at least her legal fees. So what do you think the chances are that she even put that out there? I don't think there's any chance. I think that I've been in these, by the way. I've been in media, and now if it's two parties, if they're sitting in the same room, which is what ours was, our first one was me, DiCaprio, everybody in the same room. The second one, we were put in different rooms, and then we had a judge bouncing back and forth. Not the judge of the case, though. He was an actual mediator, and he jumped back and forth from their room to our room, offer counter, so on and so forth. And for us, we got caught up in Japan, so we stayed there until 1 a.m. while Leonardo DiCaprio dug his heels in and said he wasn't going to give us Japan, and we were like, "Well, we're not leaving here without it."
Yeah.
And our lawyers threatened to drop us, and we're like, "Drop us! We don't have Japan. Doesn't fucking matter. We can't pay you anyway, dude.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get your fucking money without Japan anyway. So you better start fighting for Japan here too, buddy, because your fucking meal is because our lawyers were on contingency. We didn't have the Blake Lively bankroll to save our asses. So anyway, I've been through it, and I'm telling you right now that they have nothing to offer on their side. He has no leverage at all, literally none. Like Leonardo DiCaprio was holding back our movie. He was saying that we didn't have rights to it. It was fucking wrong. Mm-hmm. But you tell that to a distributor. The distributor's going to say, "Well, I can't help you. I'm not going to buy this movie." Leonardo DiCaprio's going to tell me that he's going to fucking sue me or join on the movie.
Yeah, if I'm going to be in a fight with Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm not going to fucking.
Dude, that still happens to this day. 30 fucking years later, a friend tried to put the movie up at a movie theater a couple hours down the road, and they got all cold feet suddenly. I was like, "Well, you think Leonardo DiCaprio is going to come and sue you?" I've got a fucking audio recording of my father telling me that he's afraid of what Leonardo DiCaprio is going to do to him. He was a maintenance man.
Your father
was a maintenance man at an apartment building.
Some people are just so eager to leap into the weirdest paranoia.
And they just want to get involved in that way. Do you know what I mean? They want to be a part of the drama. It's just like a way they can. And I think maybe that's a part of what goes on here when people show up, whether it's on this sub or in this podcast or otherwise, where, people just show up and they start fucking pretending like it matters to them in some way so they can just be a part of it, I guess. I'm genuinely involved and interested because I want to see it unfold so that I know what I might be able to fight for when the time comes if the opportunity does arise. Because Leonardo DiCaprio is stopping my shit this very day. You know?
It's like being heckled. It's like when you see those, like, somebody's really on a roll at their comedy show, and then somebody in the audience just wants to be obnoxious, and then the person on stage is like, oh God, I guess I gotta
deal with a heckler.
I guess I gotta deal with this heckler because they're just not gonna stop.
But at least you could like take a heckler down. Like I've taken a few hecklers down.
Yeah, I can't do anything about this.
But I can't take a dog down, you know? I mean, fuck. I've dismantled hecklers in my early comedy days pretty well.
I'm sure that there are a few comedians. I bet you seem like one of them, where you like savor the opportunity to take down a
Yeah,
heckler.
I've had those days. I've also had the days where they've just completely knocked me off.
Yeah.
You know, like you've seen me like yesterday when we had all these technical difficulties. I fucked up the whole live. Basically, I couldn't recover. That's happened to me on the stage before. You know, live, when you do shit live, it's like I love it. The danger of it is so exciting. You know what I mean? Like when I think about writing scripts for this kind of shit or whatever, I could just never do it. I wouldn't be disciplined enough because it just doesn't, it's not exciting. It's not, you know, when you're live, it's like anything can happen. You know, a person can show up and just piss me off, you know? That doesn't happen when I'm
I do think that it's worthwhile to consider whether people are showing up deliberately to derail a conversation.
Well, we pick up on those
like
usually.
there absolutely is a tactic there that you are susceptible to if you allow everybody who says something annoying or stupid to launch you into wasting your own time, you know?
So stupid. He's so goofy because like he'll come up, this dog will come up to you. He's like a pit bull and he's got this big underbite like this. And he comes up to you and then he goes, ooh. And he starts fucking forming this like,
Would he let you hold his front paws to
he wants to
show?
play and shit.
I was thinking if you lifted him up that people could see his face because he's such a strange little goblin.
Maybe we'll show him tomorrow. He's going to be here for a couple days.
He's going to be here for a couple days. Yeah.
He's here till Wednesday, right?
Tomorrow I'm gonna see if I can sedate him. Let him just nap through our lives so that we can. We don't have to hear the fucking. What are the Muppets in the? Who are the Muppets in the balcony seats? What were they called?
Oh yeah, the guys.
Statler and Waldorf.
Whatever their names are. Yeah.
It's like having. Exactly.
I love those guys. Oh, I just caused myself to twitch. I did that and then I got a twitch. Does that mean I'm dying? I can't believe like everything, like, you know, it was James Vanderbeek died. Then Bud Cort died.
Yes.
Then James Caan died. It's like Delicate always says it happens.
Not
in
James
threes.
Caan.
Did I just do it?
Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall.
Yeah.
He went and hung out with Jimmy Caan. He's like, Jimmy, man, why'd you die so young? He's like, yeah, but them last 10 years. He's like, what? They were the best of my life. I snorkeled. And
This is really sweet.
Lots of bread, lots of...
I wanted to share this with you. No Two Trolls said, wow, 30 years later, Dale, I hope you get everything you deserve and more from that situation. That really sucks.
Thank you. It's very kind of you.
I do too.
Thank you. It's very kind of you too. I you know, I'm going to keep fighting because what the fuck, you know? But I'm also moving on in my own way.
Hey, come over here.
Bop, bop,
What's this?
bop.
I got something for you.
You got to get, there's like one of those
buddy.
musicians who can write songs from his songs, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I wonder if like if we...
You record him and then let somebody put like a backing track
There's
on
like
it.
meows and shit and those dogs.
There you go. See? It's not so bad.
Hold on, mate. She took control as an actress for his movie because she got PGA credit, rewrote scenes, got her own edit out, fired some people, and removed his film by credit.
And he
That's taking control.
And he
No,
and
it's
it was
not.
it was the most successful opening box office
But you're wrong.
and trailer launch that Sony had ever seen. It's just preposterous to blame her for anything when it was a massive success. Everything that you're describing that she did led to a huge success for Wayfarer and Baldoni, enriched him personally, and he has the nerve to bitch about it.
But you're wrong. You're wrong. She didn't. She wasn't an actor. She was a fucking an executive producer from the start.
That's right.
And don't get me started about the vanity credit of executive producers. You don't know anything about it if you think that all executive producers are vanity credits, because they're fucking not. She got the PGA credit, and she got the PGA credit because she deserved it. She attached Taylor Swift. What do you think producers do, bro? I'm much more than that, of course.
She had, I think it was like 12 or 13 letters written from executives and producers telling the PGA that she deserved the credit and why, and explaining why. That's not some sort of like scandal.
She rewrote scenes because Justin Baldoni fucked the script up, and fucking Christy Hall was on another movie. And somebody need to, this is the whole thing I've been saying about Justin Baldoni, is that he lost control of it. In Justin Baldoni's own testimony, the script was vastly different. The one that they shot was vastly different than the one that he attached Blake Lively to in the beginning. He went in and he changed the whole script around, and she was mortified by it. And yeah, so she started working on it. That's not uncommon though. Producers are actively involved in the development of screenplays. That's just the way it is. So you just don't know what you're talking about, and they don't know what they're talking about, to be frank. They just don't understand. They didn't understand the depth of the work they had in front of them and the depth of collaboration between them all. They just didn't understand it. Film is not a one-man job. The reason, yes, she wanted to get rid of his film by credit because it's fucking ridiculous. He didn't even write the original material.
This is really great. The Junk Farm is mentioning that Francis Ford Coppola and Marlon Brando fought on the set of The Godfather.
Yeah.
Coppola had no power, but he made the cut that he shot. I just think it's really interesting. I think that Baldoni's side really wants to exploit people's ignorance about how films are made, how collaborative conflicts arise. That, it's just none of this should have been a crisis for Baldoni, but I guess he was so wet behind the ears and like way too paranoid about shit. Yeah. So he turned it into a giant crisis. But none of the stuff that went on should have provoked this reaction from him.
Let me finish with this on this point. It was Jamie Heath's job to produce that movie along with Alex Sachs, but each of the producers played different roles. He was the overall head producer, if you will, and with a PGA mark, and he didn't do it. He failed at his job. He actually participated in the many of the claims that are before the courts now. So the reason why Blake Lively, somebody had to take control of the movie, and you know what? It's better her than anybody else for her, because I don't think you understand what it means for these people to put their reputations on the line. But let me give you an example. There was this actor who had a perfectly good reputation. She went and decided to work with a director who she trusted and who she believed in when he said that he was about elevating women, and when he said that he was about telling the movie through a female gaze. She attached herself to that project and she believed in that. And it takes a great deal of trust to that, because if you make the wrong move as an actor and you do that, your entire reputation can be ruined. And somehow Blake Lively, through all of these last 20 years of the career leading up to that moment, 20 plus years, she has not only managed to not have any of that kind of devastation in her career ever once, but instead she's flourished to the point where she was so high on the ladder that a 104-year-old movie behemoth studio in Sony greenlit a movie for her as the lead actor. It's a massive thing. Imagine in your own life, there are entities ready to put $50 million behind you. Imagine that. But that's what happened to Blake Lively. And so all of that trust in her gets transferred from her all the way to that director and to those producers. And when they start faltering, you bet your fucking ass that actors are going to be terrified. You bet your ass that actors are going to be worried that if these producers and directors are faltering, that their career may now be in jeopardy. And we can look around right now and see exactly what's happened when incompetent people with ultimately bad intentions control the show. So Blake Lively did whatever she could to salvage her career and her movie, and it turned out the way it did. But you've got to understand the game if you're going to fucking try to comment on the game, and you don't. You don't understand the game, and that's entirely evident. What you do is you keep repeating what they want you to say. I don't think you're actually reading depositions. And look, hey man, you probably got better things to do with your time. But don't show up here and try to spread expertise or anywhere and start spread your extra expertise without actually taking the time out to read, to get educated about the case, to understand what the perspectives mean. You talk about a film by credit as if that's like a film by credit is the most vain credit in movies. It should be abolished by the DGA itself, and it should only be, and if not abolished, it should only be allowed for directors who also write their own material. And Justin Baldoni is none of those. You know? Yeah, I don't think Martin Scorsese should be getting a film by credit if he has a writer. You know, I understand writer-directors who get film by credits because they're taking it from their mind all the way to the fucking screen. They are the visionary. But when you're adapting books, when you're collaborating with a whole group of people, a film by credit is nothing but, you know, a vain attempt at self-aggrandizement and self-glory. And, you know, Blake Lively called it for what it was. This was supposed to be the guy who was man enough. This was supposed to be the guy who was cool with, elevating others. And instead he hoarded it for himself. And he also tried to tell a studio how to do their job, the job he actually hired them to do. Tried to tell them how to market a movie. But the audacity and the arrogance and the foolishness behind that is practically insane. Anyway, Angela, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but thanks for dealing with the dog.
Oh, you're back.
Cyber says it's true they kept giving her ammo. I mean, they kept dropping the ball, bro. You know, there's a $50 million at stake. There's a reputation. If she has a flop, you're only as good. You're only as big as your last movie, bro. You're only as big as your last flop, bro, or your last success in Hollywood. You know, and no, I mean that's a little exaggerated. But look what the devastation of this movie has done to her career. It's completely ruined it. And if he just tubes a movie, like at some point,
it didn't ruin her career. She's working a bunch.
Well, actually, it's funny you should say that because, and I've said this before. It seems fairly obvious, but I just read a headline that she just got greenlit on a TV series producing.
Yeah, but the sales of her businesses that launched right around the same time. Those really suffered.
Dropped, yeah, to nothing.
But I don't think that she's not, wanted as a collaborator.
Oh, no,
she's
no.
fucking awesome, and she impressed a shit ton of people.
No, but I mean, her reputation is trash. We can agree. And nobody's offering her movie.
Where
roles.
though? Not in Hollywood.
Yes, no, not in Hollywood, but in her career, she can't get. Look, if she can't pull a crowd anymore. She lost her A-list status. It's a wrap for her. Mm-hmm. For a very long time, if ever. I mean, she'll make her appearances and do whatever. But Blake Lively above the title, that's probably a wrap at this point. But Blake Lively producing, we haven't even yet seen what she's capable of. And if you believe what Josh Greenstein said in his deposition, he's the head of Sony. He's now the co-chairman of Paramount Studios. This guy is a massive human being in the show business, in the world of show business. Mm-hmm. And he said of Blake Lively that her work on It Ends With Us was the best he's ever seen in his career by anybody, especially as it related to marketing. Much better than not just Ryan Reynolds, but any producer he's ever worked with. Mm-hmm. And the guy's been at the like top of the game for more than 2 fucking decades. The top of the game. And the movie that he's talking about, that he's giving her all that credit for, went on to break every damn record in its genre and make $340 million on a $26 million production budget.
I just can't believe that Justin Baldoni completely tanked his own career right before the biggest box office opening of his movie. Like,
out of paranoia.
He chose to just like nosedive his own career before he found out how much he was going to grow.
And you know what's so funny about that is if he had just shut his fucking mouth, then Hollywood would have had the conversation, because the conversation would have been about, because then he would have had the success. Yeah. And it would have been attributed to him at least through half the fields. And it would have been Blake Lively looking like the fool trying to take credit or have other people fighting for her to get credit. Yeah. While all he had to do was just shut his mouth and just ride the wave out, and he'd have had his divide.
Which is exactly what I learned today that the Baha'i people say about revenge.
Yeah, there's a higher road. You guys, we got to go. This dog's driving us insane, so we're going to go. And I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to massage its feet. I don't know what we're going to do. but it's definitely destroying my quality of life. I will be back with Angela tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Yes.
We adore you. We thank you for hanging out with us. If you are new to the channel, I hope you'll subscribe and you'll like and you'll do whatever you can to help us promote ourselves and get better at what we're doing. Even if we're on different sides of the opinion, we can still be on the same side of the human race, can we not? I'll see you guys tomorrow. You're the absolute best. I'm going to go kill this dog. Bye-bye.
Good night.